What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ben. Welcome to 2020, everybody. I mean, this is great. I'm going to be looking at the whole year through 2020 vision. I know you guys have probably heard that numerous times already from different people, different sources online. But if you're new here, I want to make sure that you guys subscribe, like this video to make sure, so that I can make sure that you guys appreciate what I'm posting. And without further ado, let's take a look at my fish room for the year of 2020. So, as you guys know, I always look forward to the yearly Fishroom Tour. We got the whole fish room going on here. I know these cords, okay, I'm going to be completely upfront and honest with you. These cords will probably never disappear. I know half of the viewers are going to be looking at this outlet over here, and they're going to be like, Ben, it's hanging above water. What are you doing? To be honest, that was not there earlier. I'll get that later. But anywho, you know, this is going to be great. You're going to love this. Bob, he's still in the 30-gallon, which means that we still don't have the large tank that I said I was going to get. But anywho, Bob's tank now has a light on it, so I mean, that's pretty cool. And Bob's still looking stunning as ever. So I mean, that's a great way to start the video. Also, another big thing in the fish room, let's just look at the 55 real quick. I know there's going to be a ton of glare just because I got this big 48-inch grow light above here. But we got an arowana. This guy's like an 8 or 9-inch Giardini arowana. I got him from Central Mass Aquatics, which is in Worcester, Massachusetts. It is a wholesale distributor, but obviously since I work there, I get to buy things. If you are a pet store though, I definitely recommend checking them out because they do have great deals for any pet store owner who's looking to get good quality fish to sell. In this tank we also have a firemouth cichlid who's kind of hiding back there. The glare makes it very challenging to see him, but if he ever comes through the middle here, he has gorgeous colors. I just actually fed these guys. I feed the Giardini arowana the super worms. I also feed him frozen bloodworms, but today was a super worm day, so that's all he got. He also sometimes gets live extra large crickets. The guy over here, the firemouth cichlid that I was telling you about, you can just barely see him there through all the muck that the arowana kicks up. But he gets fed flake food, the same kind of flake food that all of my other fish get, but he also gets fed frozen bloodworms whenever the arowana does. In this tank we have large leaf Anubias. I'm not exactly sure what the scientific name for them is, but it looks beautiful. It's been growing strong ever since I set up this tank about a year ago. Originally, for those of you veterans who have watched my videos for the past year, will know that this tank originally was supposed to be a green phantom pleco breeding tank. Unfortunately, all the plecos died, so I decided to turn it into a monster grow-out tank, seeing as how I was planning, and I still am planning on getting a 180 to 240 gallon tank to put just outside this black tarp on the other side of the fish room, where I started the video. Now, this is actually really unfortunate, guys. In this bottom 10-gallon tank, I'm using it kind of as a temporary quarantine tank. This is the tricolored shark, also known as like a bala shark, I'm pretty sure. It's a type of freshwater shark that you can buy for tropical aquariums. He actually was up in the 55-gallon, and tonight I came down and he was just really beaten up. I was completely shocked. I've never seen him this beat up before, and he has never really gotten beaten up before. Obviously, with some larger fish, there is a little bit of aggression every now and then, some nipping at the fins, but not like this. If you look at the top, I mean, you can just see his eye is all torn up. His fins, I mean, look at, there's like bloody marks all over him. Although he looks dead right now, I literally just transferred him into this tank, so I know he's not. When I transferred him, though, I feel like I may have... He was really flipping around in the net. I might have damaged his swim bladder. I feel terrible for the guy. I unfortunately don't think he's going to make it through the night. I feel terrible. But unfortunately, things like that do happen sometimes in the aquarium hobby. So, to be honest... You guys have never actually seen me do stuff like this before, but most likely I will bury him out in the backyard and have like a ceremony or whatever for him. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but it was great while it lasted. Anyways, guys, I know that was kind of a sad note, but just to let you guys know, that was the worst of it. Let's get into my guppy breeding projects, because as you can see, I actually have quite a few guppies now. If you did watch last year, the year before, and the year before that, because we have been doing this is the 4th year now, I had maybe this many guppies throughout my entire fish room. I have about 30 guppies in this tank. Obviously, they're all male. In the tank below are all the females. I'm breeding half black pastels, and if you guys watched last year, you know that I was also breeding them then. But just between these two tanks, there's about 15 to 20 females down there. Yeah, these guys are great. I need to clean the screen, the front of these, because it makes the water look super cloudy. But these females, I'm growing them out, trying to get them to solid breeding size before I start matching them up with some of these nicer males up here. A lot of these males are a breeding size, so again, we're just waiting on these females in the bottom tank. Moving on though, this is just the half black pastel section. We also have another half black pastel section, so this tank is right now vacant, and that one unfortunately is the tricolored shark's quarantine. He looks like he's fading fast, so I'm gonna have to get him afterwards. But this here has 3 half black pastel fry in it. To be completely honest with you, I'm not sure why I left them in here. I was gonna move them into the male or female tank, but I think it's mostly because they are very small right now. I don't even know if you guys can see them in there. They're pretty good size. I probably could sex them, but I want to get a more definite look at them when they get a little bit bigger. Right next to it is the half black pastel show tank. As you can see, this tank, the water is actually tinted a different color than the other ones over there, and the reason being behind this is actually for those of you who watched some of my videos earlier this fall, I came out with a video on how I make safer water for water changes, and basically I just used Indian almond leaves in the water and different salts and different things like that in this tank, just to release more tannins and natural kind of ingredients, just to make the water a little bit more environmentally friendly for these fish. This is my big show female breeder here. She's great. This tank has Java moss in it. Not many of my tanks have it. This one and the bottom 2, which are not actually part of this breeding project, have them. So obviously, since this one has the Java moss, there's quite a bit of it. Again, I tried to wipe this off as best as I could, but sometimes salt that spills out does get in the way. So I mentioned this last year in last year's Fishroom Tour, and I'll mention it again this year, but salt, a lot of people think it's only for saltwater fish. Really, you can actually put a couple of tablespoons of salt. I actually use, hold on, let me try and find mine. Where did I put it? It's right down here. I actually use some like rock salt that you can buy in like 40-pound bags from Home Depot. It's like freshwater pond salt, and I'll put maybe 3 tablespoons per 10-gallon tank per water change, and the fish do well. It also really improves their health. I'm not really sure why. I'm pretty sure from what the guys have told me, the more experienced guys have told me at Central Mass Aquatics, who have been in the hobby for like 10 to 20 years, the entire decade basically, is that it really benefits the fish in a way that kind of boosts their immune system so that they can fight off different diseases easier, like ick, and trying to think of other ones, but I think I've only really had trouble with ick so far. So yeah. So right below the second section of half black pastels in my numerous cables, I have a kind of a weird grouping. These are, I actually don't remember what they're called. They're called it's a multicolor trio, basically, of guppies that I got from the latest fish club auction that I went to. I'm part of the New England Fancy Guppies Association. Where are they? There they are. These guys are beautiful. I mean, look at the male. The male has those beautiful orange, black, yellow, and then the females just have this beautiful white and black. Trying to get a better image of these guys just so you can see. These guys are just gorgeous. Look at from the top. I mean, look at these guys. The female right there is absolutely stunning. And the other female, which is larger, I mean, sure, there's a little bit of red and yellow in the female, but overall, gorgeous, nice, large showfish. I could definitely start up a solid multi-line with these guys. And plus, there's plenty of fry in here. I don't know if you can see them, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's obviously Java Moss in here. This is one of the 2 tanks that I was talking about that does also have Java Moss. There's probably about 10 to 15 fry in here. So I'm hoping to get a solid multi-line started up in the fish room. Moving on though, right next door to it, I actually have a yellow guppy line, which I also purchased from my local fish club auction. Gosh, these guppies just don't want to come out today. I just did a water change for all of them. There they are. So I got a male and female pair of yellow guppies, and they're not like show guppies, but where'd they go? There they are. But they are a pretty solid line. They already have had fries, so there's, I don't know, I'd say you can see a couple of them there. There's obviously, I don't know if you can tell, guys, but I'm recording on my phone, so the zoom and focus is not the best. There's about 10 to 15 fry in this one too. Overall, though, we have a pretty solid amount of fry throughout the fish tanks. I'd say we have maybe 25 to 50 fry in the fish room, which, I mean, I know for like you big veteran breeders who may be watching this, I don't even know, who breed like 1,000 to 5,000 fish per week, you're probably like, Ben, that's nothing. But compared to when I first started, when I was getting like 2 or 3 fry per month, it's pretty good. And especially since all the females down in this bottom tank down here haven't actually been bred with the males up top. I'm looking at maybe 100 to 200 fry per week, per month, I mean. Sorry, that was a big jump. But I'm looking at some of these bigger jumps during the upcoming year, and I think it's going to be really good for this fish room. It's going to make for an extremely profitable year in my Breeding for Profit project here. And overall, what that means is that I can make a lot of improvements to my fish room. Like, for instance, we'll come out here real quick. Obviously, like I said, the tank still isn't here, but right in place of these boxes, right in front of the tarp, this is the outside of the fish room here, we're going to be putting our 180 to 240 gallon right here. Obviously, you're probably wondering, Ben, why are you going from 180 to 240? That's a 60 gallon difference. Well, the reason behind that is because there's a tank at Central Mass that I'm getting, and we don't actually know what the size is, but what we do know is that it's a lot larger than 125. So we're just kind of estimating from 180 to 240, since those are the next most common ones up from 125. Okay, so guys, this year we went to the NEC, which for those of you who don't know is the Northeast Council of Aquarium Society's annual convention. We went to the New England Fancy Guppies Association's annual show. Excuse me. We have done an updated version of E.T. Meller's Fish Room. He is a pro guppy breeder. He's the president of the New England Fancy Guppies Association. We have done this year's Fishroom Tour, which, as you guys know, is one of my favorite videos to make. And we have also, number 5, have had the most consistent video upload schedule this year that we have ever had in the history of this channel. Which I know for some of you who have been watching, you'll be like, Ben, you mean you've been consistent in the past 3 weeks that you haven't uploaded a video in? Alright. Yes, I have skipped a couple of weeks here and there. A couple of weeks? You skipped like 12 weeks. Yes, okay guys, I skipped maybe 2.5 months worth of videos. But still, compared to the years before, we have had a lot more videos this year than we ever have had. So my New Year's resolution for 2020 is to make sure, just like it was last year, make sure that I'm always improving on my consistency for upload schedule. And also I want to make sure that I really try and follow through with everything that I say I'm going to do, especially with the big tank moving bob. It's all going to happen in good time. And so that's pretty much it, because so far, as you guys can see in this video, the fish room is doing amazing, other than that small little issue with the tricolored shark, which again is pretty unfortunate. So, you know, problems like that you got to be ready for, but other than that, you got to be ready to just get back right up after you're done with the problem. Once you've gotten over it, stand back up and get moving. So I hope you guys overall have enjoyed this video as much as I have enjoyed making it. If so, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because this is the 4th year, guys. We probably have over 120 videos for you guys to see that are like this one. Well, not like this one exactly, but pretty similar in the Fishroom Hobby. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for those. Like this video if you want to see more, because, well, yeah, you'll see more in the next few years. And without further ado, I'll see you guys next time.